guys, so today we're going to be reviewing adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. So we're going to go through word problems and identify which operation we're going to use because all of these are going to be on your NC check-in. And we haven't done anything with decimals in a while, so this video will really help you break down each problem. So Bill bought 2 Christmas trees. The first Christmas tree was 9.19 feet tall. The second Christmas tree was 7.45 feet tall. How much taller was the first tree than the second? So we're trying to find the difference in height. So if we're going to find the difference in this tree's height and this tree's height, you notice I'm using the word difference. Difference is to subtract. So we need to subtract these two numbers. So the taller tree was 9.19. When you are adding and subtracting decimals, the main thing you need to remember is to line the decimals up. So I need to make sure my decimals are lined up before I add or subtract. So we're going to subtract these. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and bring down my decimal too. So you need to line them up and then just bring that decimal straight down. So 9 minus 5 is 4. 1 minus 4 I can't do, so I need to borrow from my 9. It becomes an 8, and this becomes an 11. 11 minus 4, excuse me, is 7. 8 minus 1 is, or 8 minus 7 is 1. So 1.74. So how much taller was the first Christmas tree than the second? 1.74 feet would be the difference in trees, and that's exactly why we subtracted. Next problem. In the frog jumping contest, a frog jumped 17.56 inches on the first jump. On the second jump, it jumped 19.92 inches. How many inches did the frog jump total? So we're trying to find out, first he jumped this high, and then he jumped this high. So how many did he jump in all, or total, or all combined? So that means we're going to add when we have that total amount. So we're going to take 19.92, line my decimals up, 17.56. 6 plus 2 is 8, 9 plus 5 is 14, bring that decimal down. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 7 is 17, and then 3. So the frog jumped 37.48 inches total or in all. All right, this one says the pizzeria can make 7.5 pizzas an hour. So every hour they're making 7.5 pizzas. So how many pizzas will they make in 2.75 hours? So we want to figure out if they can make 7.5 in 1 hour, how many can they make in 2.75 hours? This means we are going to have to multiply. So multiplying decimals. So first you want to look and see with your two numbers, which one has the most digits? So the 2.75 has the most digits. Even though it's a smaller number, it has more digits. So we're going to put that one on top. And when you are multiplying and dividing decimals, you do not have to line your decimals up. You just write it like your numbers. So I need to first, before I start solving this problem, I need to circle how many numbers I have to the right of my decimals. So I'm going to circle all the numbers to the right of my decimals. I have 1, 2, 3. And we will leave this here and come back to it in just a second. So I've circled my numbers to the right of my decimals. Now I just take the decimals out and solve it like we're doing the standard algorithm of multiplication. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 is 37. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So I am done with my 5. I've multiplied everything on the top. I'm also done with these numbers too. So I need to add a 0 as a placeholder. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry my 3. 7 times 7 is 49. Plus 3 is 52. Carry my 5. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 5 is 19. And now I just need to add these up. 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus another 2 is 6. 1 plus 9 is 10. Carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we have this number, 20625. Now we can come and look at the numbers we circled. So we circled 1, 2, 3. So that means we're going to start at the very end with our decimal and move it in 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. So my decimal is going to go right here. So that means my answer is 20.625. So how many pizzas can they make in 2.75 hours? If they make only 7.5 in 1 hour, would be 20.625 pizzas. So with multiplication, I'm going to go back through the steps. What we did is we set up our problem. We put the one with the most digits on the top. We circled the numbers after the decimals. And then we went over here, took out our decimals, and just did regular multiplication. And at the very end, we came back over here and knew that we had 1, 2, 3 numbers circled. So we started at the end and moved it in 1, 2, 3 and got our answer. We have not done that in a long time. Okay, a sailboat can sail. I didn't write this problem, but sail, this should be an I. And it should be an L. A sailboat can sail 8.2 miles in 1 hour. If they need to go 32.8 miles, how many hours will it take? So we need to divide 32.8 by 8.2 to see how many hours it's going to take to go this far. So we're going to set up our problem. Our divisor is going to be 8.2. So remember, in this one we're dividing. Our dividend is going to be 32.8. Before we start this problem, remember, if you get a remainder when dividing decimals, you need to add a 0 to bring it down. And we'll see if we have to do that on this problem. Let me change the color of my pen. All right. So my first step is to make this decimals divisor into a whole number. And all I need to do is take this decimal and move it to the very end. So I just had to move it 1 time to get it to the very end. Whatever I do to this, or how many times I move that decimal to the right on my divisor, I have to move it to the right on my dividend. So here's my decimal here. I need to move it once as well. So I'm going to rewrite the problem over here. I have 82, and then 328. That decimal is on the end now. So it just makes them into whole numbers. So my first step is to just take this decimal and move it straight up. And now I can start my problem like regular. So 82 goes into 3, 82 is bigger than 3, so 0 times. So next I'm going to move over and look at my 32. 82 can go into 32 0 times because 82 is larger than 32. So now I'm going to look at my whole 328. So this is going to take some guessing and checking. So I'm going to come over here and just pick a number to multiply by 82 just to see how close we can get to 328. So let's do 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. 246. So let's see if we can get closer. 82 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 8 is 32. 328. So it went in perfectly 4 times. So 82 goes into 328 4 times. 4 times 82 is 328 because we solved that right here. Subtract those and get zeros. I don't have a remainder and I do not have anything else to break down. So my answer has 004 decimal. So all this is you can ignore these zeros. This is just 4.0 or just 4. So how many hours will it take if they want to go 32.8 miles? It will take 4 hours. Okay, so I'm going to remind you of the steps again. So what we did is we just set up our problem. We moved our decimal to the very end. We moved our decimal to once to the very end here. So how many times you move it on this one, you move it the same number of times on this one. And then we brought our decimal straight up and then solved like normal. If you have a problem where you have, let's say 4 goes into 32.8. So if we have a whole number already, we don't have any decimals to move because it's already a whole number. So all you need to do if you get a problem like this is just move that decimal straight up and then solve like normal. So we'll go through this one really quickly. 4 goes into 3 0 times. 4 goes into 32. 4, 8, 12, 16. Sorry. 16, 20, 24, 28, and 32. So it goes in 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract, get 0, bring down my 8. 4 goes into 8 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract and get 0. So my answer here would be 8.2. If you get a problem where your whole number, or you have a whole number as your divisor, you just need to bring your decimal straight up. Okay, so we went over adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. So when you add and subtract, line your decimals up. When you multiply, circle the number of digits after decimals, take them out, and then at the very end, put them in the many times you circled. And then dividing is just bringing your decimal straight up, or if you have a decimal divided by a decimal, moving it to a whole number, doing the same inside the box, and then moving it up. Okay? So once you start doing these practice problems, it'll get easier. But please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.